Driving a bus is a big responsibility, but there are drivers who dare to take the bus through the most dangerous roads on the planet. In today's video, we will explore 10 crazy bus rides where human courage and bravery are tested to the limit. Located in southwestern South Dakota, this route stretches over 60 kilometers, winding through the mountains and forests. Stretching over 60 kilometers, the road winds through the wild southwest of South Dakota. The route is well maintained, and the road surface is relatively stable compared to many other places. What's special is that it passes through Wind Cave National Park, famous for its mysterious cave system and uniquely shaped rock formations. Along the way, the road passes through tunnels carved straight into the cliff, so narrow that they are only about 2.5 meters wide. Only brave drivers dare to drive buses through the Pinhole Tunnel, the narrowest and most famous tunnel on this route. Leaving the Rocky Mountains of South Dakota, the journey continues to take us to Italy's Amalfi Coast, where stunning beauty meets heart-pounding curves. The rugged terrain of the road clings to the cliffs, with many sections having only one side being a vertical abyss that drops straight down to the sea. The route is always busy with traffic all year round, especially crowded in the summer. The bus had to weave between cars, motorbikes, and groups of tourists. Every tight turn makes the passenger's heart pound, but at the same time also brings unforgettable, breathtaking views. Leaving the idyllic Italy behind, we head to the mountains of northern India, where the famous Kinnaur Road is both majestic and terrifying. Kinnaur is a high-altitude region of India, with harsh climate and landslide-prone terrain. The road here is narrow, steep, and frequently interrupted by rockfalls and falling snow. For bus drivers, driving through this area is a test of master skills because just one wrong turn of the wheel can send dozens of lives plunging into the abyss. However, this road is still crowded with tourists because it leads to ancient Buddhist monasteries located among majestic mountains. From the frigid Himalayas, the journey takes us all the way to the Amazon rainforest, where the BR 319 road is known as the most extreme in South America. BR 319 stretches 870 kilometers through the Amazon rainforest. During the rainy season, this road turns into a giant swamp, with deep potholes and a rotten bridge that could collapse at any time. Buses passing through here sometimes get stuck for days without being able to get free. Every stretch of road on the BR 319 is a mental challenge that only the determined can overcome. The journey is not over yet, because in the Himalayas, Rohtang Pass awaits with its deadly curves and icy paths. At an altitude of nearly 4,000 meters, Rohtang in Tibetan means heap of corpses. The name speaks to the harshness of this place. The road is winding, slippery in many parts with snow and ice, and prone to landslides. Yet it offers majestic views of glaciers and Himalayan mountains. Many people have lost their lives here, making each bus crossing a battle of wits and strength between humans and nature. From the Himalayas, our journey takes us to Peru, a country with one of the highest traffic accident rates in South America, largely due to its treacherous roads. Peru is the country with the highest traffic accident rate in South America. The reason lies in the road system that often clings to cliffs, has no barriers, is unpaved, and always faces the risk of landslides. The buses here are often filled with curious tourists or people from remote villages. The journey opens up majestic scenery, but behind it lies danger that can take lives at any moment. After Peru, the next challenge is Karakoram, the highest road in the world. More than 1,300 kilometers long, the Karakoram is one of the highest roads in the world, with sections crossing an altitude of nearly 4,700 meters. The harsh terrain, frequent landslides and avalanches, combined with narrow curves without barriers, makes even experienced drivers' hearts pound. Each bus ride through the Karakoram was like gliding on the edge of a cliff, both overwhelming and extremely stressful. Would you dare to take a bus on this road? Leave your opinion in the comments section. Sach Pass in the Chamba region of northern India is the gateway to the Panji Valley. This road is extremely narrow and steep. Many sections can only accommodate one car, let alone a bus. The path is filled with unexpected waterfalls, steep cliffs, and giant ice walls. This journey brings majestic beauty, but also hides deadly horror. From Sach Pass, the journey continues to the Pangi Aguilar route, where the road almost disappears between deep ravines and rocky mountains. Calling this a road would be an exaggeration, as it is mostly just a narrow dirt path along the mountainside. The slope is hundreds of meters long, without any protective railings. Despite the dangers, buses still roll every day, forcing drivers to test their skills. The sharp turns here do not allow for mistakes. Just one wrong turn can cost your life. Passengers on the bus could only hold their breath, watching every dangerous meter of road. But all those challenges are nothing compared to the next road, Bolivia's Yungas, once known as the most dangerous road in the world. Famous for the most dangerous road in the world, the Yungas is about 70 kilometers long, connecting the capital La Paz with the Coroico region. The road is only 3 meters wide, with a 600-meter-high cliff on one side, making it a nightmare for two cars to pass each other. Over the years, hundreds of lives have been lost here, mostly on passenger buses. Today, the Yungas are mainly for adventure cycling, but memories of bus rides on this road of death remain indelible. And now, let's go to the Guoliang Tunnel, once known as the road not for the faint of heart in China. The Guoliang Tunnel in China was built by hand by 13 villagers using primitive tools, chiseling through a mountain to open a path connecting the remote village with the outside world. The road was narrow and long, with gaps on one side leading straight down to the steep cliff, while inside it was dark, without any lights, and the road surface was bumpy and uneven. The passage was only wide enough for one car, and when two cars unexpectedly met, the situation immediately became extremely dangerous. Many tourists are amazed by the extraordinary history of this road, but many others are also scared when driving through the tunnel of death. Next up is the James Dalton, the icy highway in Alaska, where cold and isolation become deadly. The James Dalton Highway in Alaska is more than 400 miles long, running through the icy wilderness, and was built for oil workers, not for regular drivers. The route is mostly gravel, full of potholes, loose rocks, and often immersed in bitter cold, down to -50 degrees Celsius. There are only 3 gas stations along the route, and there is almost no phone signal, so if your car breaks down on the road, you may have to wait hours or even days for help. Because of this, James Dalton is considered one of the most deserted and dangerous highways in America. Next is Skipper's Canyon, a narrow dirt road that winds up steep mountains and has made even seasoned drivers shudder. Built during the 19th century gold rush, this narrow dirt road winds through steep mountains. The road is completely unpaved and has no guardrails. Right at the edge of the road, just a few inches away, is an abyss that can take lives at any moment. Even though it is a vital route for military and commercial purposes, many drivers are still afraid because just one wrong turn can send the vehicle plunging straight down a steep cliff with no chance of rescue. After Skipper's Canyon, the journey continues into the Himalayas, where the Zojila Pass is famous for its death-defying curves. Zojila Pass is located at an altitude of over 3,300 meters, connecting Kashmir with Ladakh. The road is narrow, unpaved, and often covered with deep snow or mud. No fences, poor visibility in the fog, and frequent landslides when the weather changes suddenly. Despite its military and commercial importance, Zojila Pass still makes many drivers afraid, because just one wrong turn is enough to send them plunging straight down a steep cliff with no chance of rescue. If Zojila makes drivers sweat with landslides and fog, Fairy Meadows is even more terrifying with steep cliffs without railings. The name sounds poetic, but it is one of the scariest roads in the world. It was just a rough dirt road, following the mountainside, with no guardrails. The road is only wide enough for one car, surrounded by sharp rocks and sharp turns where just one small mistake can send you tumbling down a giant cliff. The hike up to Fairy Meadows near Nanga Parbat is stunning, but even locals advise against driving alone. The journey continues with a near-legendary path that is Passage du Goisin, France. Passage du Gois is about 4.3 kilometers long, connecting the mainland with Noirmoutier Island in the middle of the French Sea. What's special is that this road disappears under the sea twice a day, when the tide rises and submerges the entire path. If stuck, cars can be swept away by the water, and despite the high tide signs, people still get into accidents every year. In just minutes, the peaceful scene here can turn into a deadly disaster. If Passage du Gois is scary because of the tide, then Chianmen Mountain Road spooky by cliffs and breathtaking curves. Dubbed the Road of 99 Bends, this route stretches for about 11 kilometers of dangerous winding roads. With exactly 99 sharp turns, this road winds for nearly 7 miles to climb to the top of Tianmen Mountain. The road is steep and narrow, the weather is often foggy and slippery when it rains. Although tourist buses still run by every day, even experienced drivers cannot help but break out in a cold sweat. From the top of the mountain, the views are spectacular, but the journey to conquer is a harsh test of nerves. After the 99 breathtaking bends of Tianmen Mountain, the final challenge awaits us in Turkey, the infamous D915 road. Although few people know it, D915 is known as the most dangerous road in the world. Built by the Russian army in 1916, this road is famous for its 29 hairpin bends. With no guardrails, the road climbs more than 3,000 meters through Sla Mountain, often covered in snow, rain, and fog that makes visibility almost zero. The road is so narrow and slippery that overtaking is almost impossible, forcing locals to pass through. But for tourists, this is a challenge that no one dares to risk. Escaping the ferocity of the D915, travelers are drawn to Italy's Amalfi Coast Drive, a charming coastal road that is both picturesque and potentially dangerous. On one side are pastel houses clinging precariously to the cliffs. On the other side is the Mediterranean Sea sparkling in the sun, so beautiful it makes the driver's hands tremble with excitement. The extremely narrow lane is barely enough for two cars to pass each other. The hairpin bends are frequent, and the traffic is crowded with cars jostling for every meter. Huge tour buses can suddenly block your way. Blind corners can block your view, and even a moment of distraction can send you carelessly skidding to the edge of a cliff. Leaving Amalfi, we head to Großglockner High Alpine Road, Austria, a spectacular road between the majestic Alps. 36 curves hug the slopes of the Hohe-Tauern mountain like an ice museum open to the sky. Nearly 48 kilometers long, rising more than 2,400 meters in the middle of the Alps, where storms can strike suddenly in just a moment. Late snow can blanket the landscape in the middle of summer, sudden fog can obscure visibility, and slippery roads can make every turn a nerve-wracking challenge. Drones sweep across white glaciers, close-ups of colorful alpine wildflowers along the roadside, and from above, the ribbon-like hairpin bends that hug the mountainside appear. From the majestic Alps, the journey takes us to Lingxi Z-shaped mountain road in Chongqing, China, where the curves follow each other vertically like stairs to heaven. 18 sharp turns between two giant stone walls, a true traffic sculpture. Stretching 3 kilometers with sharp turns, this road is the lifeline connecting the isolated village with the outside world. The road is narrow and steep, with falling rocks lurking in the rainy season, and when you encounter oncoming vehicles, there is almost no way out. Drone scans the entire Z-curves. The car slowly hugs the edge of the rock, interspersed with images of the daily life of local people. Ha Giang Loop. Vietnam continuing the journey is Ha Giang Loop, Vietnam spectacular limestone road. Cattier Rocks, Ma Pai Leng Pass, fog and deep abyss are breathtakingly beautiful, but require a driving hand as steady as steel. Hagyang Loop is nearly 300 kilometers long, embracing majestic limestone mountains, passing through ethnic villages and UNESCO-recognized karst plateaus. The road is narrow and winding, thick fog obscures visibility, motorbikes are common but the risk of accidents is always lurking. Tusan Canyon is steep next to No-Kay River, point of view of breathtaking Ma Pailang Pass, mixed with simple indigenous life in the high mountains. The journey continues to Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, Japan, the legendary White Snow Road. Snow corridors up to tens of meters high, a route to conquer the Japanese Alps by cable car, electric bus, and funicular. The 72-kilometer Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, open only seasonally, features a towering snow wall of snow in spring. The weather changed suddenly, from sunshine to blizzard, along with fierce mountain winds making the journey more unstable. Amidst the towering giant snow wall, the tiny tourist walks. The cabin hangs over the White Mountains, and in the distance appears the emerald-green Kurobe Lake embracing the majestic mountains. Please comment, "Awesome," if the scene is ya. This is overwhelming. Leaving the Japanese Alps, the journey takes us to the Pacific Coast Highway, California, America's iconic coastal road. Stretching 960 kilometers along the Pacific Ocean, the Pacific Coast Highway leads past Big Sur, the legendary Bixby Bridge, and towering cliffs that touch the waves. The scenery is breathtaking, but occasional landslides force the road to be closed. Danger always lurks from fierce sea winds, dense fog, and unforgiving cliffs. The convertible drove close to the edge of the cliff, while the fog swallowed the ocean below. Deo Passo Giao are Dolomites. Next is Passo Giao in the Dolomites, Italy, where majestic mountains meet challenging curves. The vast grasslands embrace the Dolomites, where rocks and clouds harmonize in a symphony. The highlight of the pass is its elevation of about 2,236 meters, located near the town of Cortina d'Ampezzo. The constant danger in Passo Giao is the thick fog that covers the area, combined with the slippery road surface during the transition season, making driving challenging and potentially risky. Panoramic view of majestic mountain peaks, where cars curve smoothly between the green grasslands. Continuing the journey is the winding slope of Nikko Irohazaka in Japan, famous for dozens of sharp turns, embracing the mountains and forests in the red leaf season. With 48 curves representing 48 ancient characters, Nikko Irohazaka is like a cultural roller coaster leading from central Nikko to Lake Chuzenji. The highlight is the separate up and down routes, most brilliant during the beautiful red leaf season. The danger lies in steep slopes that can easily cause the brakes to overheat, plus fallen leaves make the road slippery. Nikko Irohazaka is not only a driving challenge, but also a journey to immerse yourself in the beauty of Japanese culture and nature. Next is Angel's Crest Highway, California. The angelic path embraces the rugged mountains. Angel's Crest Highway, California, is known as one of the most beautiful and spectacular roads in the American West. The 62-mile-long road winds through the San Gabriel Mountains, featuring mountain-hugging curves and sweeping views of majestic canyons and jungles. However, this place also has potential risks from steep slopes, sudden fog, and slippery roads, especially in winter when it is covered in snow. This experience is both beautiful and fierce, a journey you should conquer with awareness, a safe pace, and absolute respect for nature. BR 319, Konduang Suyen Rung Amazon or Brazil land, from the mountains of California. The journey takes us to BR 319, the road through the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, where the challenge is not in the cliffs, but in the endless wilderness. BR 319 is a legendary South American route, leading straight into the majestic but harsh Amazon jungle. Stretching over 800 kilometers, connecting Manaus with Porto Velho, it is mostly bumpy, muddy red dirt road. On the road, there are many makeshift, dilapidated wooden bridges spanning rivers and streams, surrounded by pristine tropical rainforest. During the rainy season, BR 319 turns into a sea of mud. Vehicles can easily get stuck for hours, and the weather can change quickly. This road is a tough challenge, and to conquer it, you need specialized vehicles, adequate supplies, and a steely spirit. Deo Grimsel or Thrui Sifram, the Amazon jungle. The journey takes us to Grimsel Pass in Switzerland, where the Alps open up with winding bends between glacial lakes and majestic cliffs. Grimsel Pass is a famous Swiss mountain pass where the Alps appear spectacularly with majestic rocks, ice, and lakes. At 2,164 meters, it connects the Bernese Oberland with the Valais, and is notable for its winding curves around the glacial lakes, Grimselsee and Totensee. Dangers include fog that obscures visibility, narrow winding roads that can be difficult to control, and icy winters that can block many sections. Grimsel Pass is both scenic and dangerous, so take it slow, enjoy the scenery, and keep a steady hand on the wheel amidst the majestic Alps. Continuing the journey is Sa Calobra Road in Mallorca, Spain, a spiral road that hugs the Mediterranean cliffs. Is one of the most famous routes on the island of Mallorca, Spain, known as a masterpiece of engineering and nature when blending between Rocky Mountains and the Mediterranean Sea. Sa Calobra Road is 13 kilometers long, following the cliffs with dozens of hairpin bends, notably the 360 degrees bottleneck leading down to a deep blue bay between majestic limestone mountains. The road is winding and steep, full of sharp turns crowded with tourist cars and bicycles, while on the edge is only a sheer cliff with no barriers. The journey is spectacular but challenging, so take it slow, stay safe, and enjoy every curve as a magical dance of nature. Sa Calobra Road is beautiful but dangerous. Drive slowly and enjoy. Do you dare to conquer it? Comment number 1, if any. Continue the journey is Hehuanshan Mountain Road in Taiwan, where beauty meets danger. This is the most famous mountain road in Taiwan, where visitors can both admire the floating clouds and face dangerous challenges.